I will show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Acts 2:21. And through signs, and symbols, the Lord has prepared us for the end that is soon about to come.
Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast. For the number of the beast is that of a man, and his number is 666. And let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast. For the number is that of Moqtada al-Sadr, and his number is 666. Revelation 13:18. And John of Patmos was given great wisdom, for he was given a vision of what the Antichrist, the beast from the earth, would look like. Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. He exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and he makes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose fatal wound was healed. The Antichrist, as it says, comes from the earth, and the Hebrew word for earth is eretz, which means the land from which all things began. And as we know, all things began in the Garden of Eden, which was once in Mesopotamia in the middle of Iraq. And the Greek word for earth is ge, which means the land, as opposed to the sea, for it refers to the region from which all things first began. Thus the beast from the earth arises from the origin of the earth and the cradle of civilization in Iraq. And George W. Bush Jr. would speak great blasphemies against God. For George W. Bush, on March 20th, 2003, would on a great lie declare war against Iraq. And due to this war, 800 U.S. troops, 26,500 Iraqi troops, and 1.5 million Iraqi citizens would perish. And more than 4 million Iraqis, 1 out of 6, would be permanently displaced from their homes. And because of the political vacuum created by George W. Bush Jr. invading Iraq and killing Saddam Hussein, on May 25, 2007, the beast of the earth, Moqtada al-Sadr, would arise to take power of Iraq. Moqtada al-Sadr would return from Iran to Sadr City, Iraq, to quote, speak as a dragon to his followers. No, no, Satan. No, no, USA. No, no, occupation. No, no, Israel. Associated Press. And on that day, 6,000 Shiites listened to him speak, and 6 U.S. troops died on that day. And the beast has a number, and his number is 666. Revelation 13:18. His followers call Moqtada al-Sadr the Mahdi, for the Mahdi in Islamic prophecy is the guided one. For the Mahdi is the Imam, the prophecy leader of Islam, who would lead his people against the infidels. And Moqtada al-Sadr's men, called the Mahdi army, would prepare the way for the prophetic end. And here are the essential facts regarding Moqtada al-Sadr. His followers call him by the revered name martyr Imam. Imam is reserved for the holiest of holy men in the country. And Moqtada is the son and the son-in-law of the two previous Imam Ayatollahs of Iraq. He is also a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. He is in fact the accepted Imam or Grand Ayatollah of Iraq. He is also called martyr because the Reagan administration assisted Saddam Hussein with the execution of Moqtada's father-in-law, Imam Mohammed Bakir al-Sadr, and his aunt in 1980. And 20 years later, the Bush Senior administration assisted Saddam Hussein with the assassination of Moqtada's father, Imam Mohammed Sadiq al-Sadr, and his two brothers in 1999. Also, during the Iran-Iraq War, the U.S. under Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. gave tens of billions of dollars of military support to Saddam Hussein in order to destroy the Shia government. The Shia leaders at the time were Moqtada's father, Imam Ayatollah Mohammed Sadiq al-Sadr, and his father-in-law, Imam Ayatollah Mohammed Bakir al-Sadr. They are now worshipped as, quote, the two holiest martyrs of Iraq, what prophecy would call the two horns of the Lamb, Revelation 13:11. And understandably, Moqtada al-Sadr is now hell-bent on avenging the death of his family by the hands of the U.S. government. His father and uncle studied with Imam Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, who is also a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. Furthermore, his cousin is Mohammad Khatami, the previous president of Iran. And al-Sadr's Mahdi army was trained by and consists of members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. In other words, both the holy and political families of Iran and Iraq are blood relatives. Lastly, Moqtada al-Sadr is the cousin of Musa al-Sadr, the Iranian founder of the Amal movement, a powerful political Shia party in Lebanon. Thus, the entire Shia horn, Iraq, Iran, Lebanon, is tied together by Moqtada al-Sadr's bloodline. Iran is much more advanced in nuclear weapons development than the press and our U.S. government leads us to believe. In fact, the latest reports show that Iran has over 20,000 nuclear centrifuges and by conservative estimates has over 6.5 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, Associated Press. Most nuclear scientists concur that Iran is within 1 month of having a fully capable nuclear bomb. Iran is presently in nuclear negotiations with the PG 5+1, or the Obama-Iran deal. With Iran having elected a new conservative president, it is widely assumed that they will reject these new nuclear negotiations. Therefore, if the nuclear negotiations fall apart, Iran will have a fully capable nuclear bomb within 1 month. Iraq has the second largest oil reserve in the world, at least 20% of the world reserve, and they have the refineries to process it, which the U.S. government has been so diligent to protect throughout the Iraq War. By conservative estimates, Moqtada al-Sadr has over 4 million faithful followers and an army of over 100,000 troops, known as the Jaish al-Mahdi or Peace Brigades. And Moqtada has the support of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. Just recently, the followers of Moqtada had a rally of over 100,000 in the Green Zone in Baghdad, and recently stormed into and took over the parliament twice. And what will happen next? The answer is very simple. For the Shia horn is controlled by the horns of Iran and Iraq, and their bloodlines are tied by religion. And Iran is assisting Iraq with weapons and training. And though Iran is being pressured by the international community, they shall soon have a fully capable nuclear bomb. Then the bowls of wrath are soon about to come.